Good morning, amazing friends. It is your host, Chris, and Josh here to bring you your amazing Sunday morning kickoff show in the almost final week of the season, week 16, where a lot of people are in their semis, week before the finals. And we're here to give you some last minute injury updates because there's a whole list of COVID guys. And yeah, we'll just get through that and then turn to brighter and happier times. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to everybody out there. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa. And, let's get the show rolling. Josh, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling like it's Boxing Day, Chris.
Oh, good call. Boxing Day. That's a British thing. Yeah.
And Canadian, I think. I'm reading this.
Which would make
I'm
me
reading
think
Wonder
it's
Tech's
French,
post.
too?
I'm reading. That's English, I think. I'm reading this thing about Wonder Tech posted about Fire Guide. That's freaking sad, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Our thoughts, prayers, and condolences going out to the Fire Guide family. A friend of ours has suddenly passed away from stroke. Josh, correct?
Yes, stroke.
And it's been a rough several days for him. Or has it been 2 weeks? It hasn't been close to 2 weeks. It's been more like a week.
It's been like a month, dude.
Has it been 4 weeks, really?
Yeah,
Gosh.
it's been a pretty rough like Thanksgiving and like holiday season for him obviously him and his family too. Like it's
Yeah. So I don't
Real
think I
bummer.
have. I can throw the link in a chat here in a second, but I don't have it ready to roll right now. He's got a GoFundMe, as we just said. Families
I
dealing
think
with
it's still
a lot.
going.
Yeah, it should be still going for sure. It needs to continue because that's obviously that's the worst part of it, losing a loved one. But they have a lot of other things in life that's going to get in the way when they're
Well, I mean, they're now a one
father,
income
dad,
family,
husband.
so
Yeah, exactly, one income family. So anyway, we'll get that link up there in chat for you in just a second. In the meantime, I've got some more not so great news. Just COVID getting in the way, injury updates here for us.
please tell me Patrick Mahomes has COVID.
No, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think he could score 60 points and you're still going to win. So there's that. But hey, speaking of bad news, me losing again in the Dynasty League. For those listening at home,
There's a
I've made
lot
the
of football left. Oh, just knock it off. A lot of football left.
It's not looking good. List of players out with COVID. You've got Travis Kelce, speaking of Mahomes. Austin Eckler, speaking of my Dynasty team. Dalvin Cook, Mike Williams of the Chargers, Jared Goff of the Lions, Tyler Huntley. That's important to bring up. I kind of sung his praises in the Friday matchup show. You have to look elsewhere.
We both did.
Yeah, exactly. Last I saw, Jared Johnson is going to be the starter, and they were bringing up a guy to be backup for the Baltimore Ravens quarterback position because Lamar is also out.
I got something to say, but when it becomes relevant, I'll bring it up.
Sounds good. Brandon Cooks for the Texans is out with COVID. Cole Beasley and Gabe Davis, receivers for the Bills. Andrew Whitworth, I believe left tackle for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Rams, yeah. Ramondre Stevenson is out. Harrison Butker, kicker for the Chiefs, is out. Laviska Shenault is out also. So that's one list of players out with COVID. Some other notes
One
here.
list.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Turn the page to page 1 of 5.
Yeah, to be fair, I did throw them together at the last minute, but at the same time, there were two handy lists already made for me of players out and, of course, players out with COVID, like I just read. Jake Fromm is going to start for the New York Giants. At quarterback, DJ Moore, receiver for the Panthers, is expected to play with his hamstring issue. Kadarius Toney should have stayed with that after Jake Fromm. Speaking of the Giants, Kadarius Toney, the receiver, is questionable with an oblique slash quad.
Let's circle back around to DJ Moore. Are you
okay?
So you say he's going to play his hamstring issue, which, as we've covered before, is on the back of the thigh, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm getting to something here. Do you really want to play him though this week with a combination of Sam Darnold / Cam Newton? He's a little hobbled. He hasn't been very fantasy relevant like in a while.
I think there's a lot of players that haven't been fantasy relevant that are fantasy relevant this week.
Oh, well, okay, so
Absolutely.
answer the question then.
Mike Evans is out, Godwin is out, Williams is out, Cooks is out. I'm sorry,
You're
what
not
was the
answering
question?
the question. You're just listing players that are out.
What was the question? Well, do I want to rely on him?
Yeah. Do you start DJ Moore this week?
No, not if you can help it. That's what I think.
I mean, he hasn't scored more than 15 points since week 4.
Yeah, he has no quarterback. Last I read, Cam's going to start, but they just activated Sam Darnold. Doesn't mean I think Darnold's going to.
They said that they were like both going to play, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh my god,
I think they want Yeah, exactly. I'd rather stay away because of those things. I can see it from a real NFL perspective, trying to get a look at these guys before the season's over. It's fine. I haven't been relying on.
I think Sam Darnold's going to, after this week, I think Sam Darnold's going to.
Here, maybe this answers your question better. I am starting Michael Gallup and Adam Thielen over DJ Moore. Oh,
Adam Thielen might not play, though.
He's going to play.
You sure?
Kadarius Toney has a chance to play, is the way that was worded. He has
but no, you don't care.
And a quad issue. Adam Thielen is questionable with an ankle. He is expected to play, is what I read. I already touched on Darnold just a moment ago.
Why are you touching Darnold?
Speaking of Darnold's, Donald Parham has been put on IR. Hope he comes out okay on the other end of it because it looked really bad. A list of players out for Sunday. I have no injury designations on any of these, so forgive me, but it just cuts to the chase. Fournette is out. Mike Evans, Godwin,
out.
Dalton, don't care. Jakeem Grant, don't care. Nelson Aguilar, Lamar Jackson, we touched on already. Pat Freiermuth, tight end for the Steelers, is out. Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback for the Broncos, is out. I assume that means it's Drew Lock. Left tackle for the Cowboys, Tyron Smith, is out. Cam Akers was activated. Tyreek Hill did. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Josh.
Oh, well, with Cam Akers, it's not fantasy relevant. But they're hoping that Cam Akers is going to be kind of good to go for NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
Which seems a little odd. Yeah. And I think what they're hoping
I think if you can bring him in on third down.
I would think what they're hoping is that they get that, they can get him a little bit of NFL action to kind of shake some injury rust off, so that way he's going to be good to go for the next season.
And how long has Henderson been back? 2 weeks now? I think it will be.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm having to start Sony Michel this week. So
yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say. Was on what I believe they'll. I don't want to use the word hot hand, although he has been good, Sony. But I think they're going to use the guy that's been getting the carries because they have two other guys that kind of need to get worked in. And I don't think there's any reason to rush Cam Akers or Henderson because Sony's playing well. Why rush it? You've got a pantry full of running back talent there to partake in. I don't know.
Okay, let's put it this way. You got a lot of B. You got a B and you got a C level, BC level running backs, and then you have a potential A level running back, and
that's fair. C's playing like a B plus though right now.
I was leaving it ambiguous because it was just like I don't really know which one's which at this point. Who's the B and who's the C? It seems like
I don't blame you for that one either.
And Henderson's the C. He's I think that the luster has rubbed off of Henderson. And
yeah, it's kind of what I keep. The more the weeks that go by, the more I'm on Team Sony, and I think I showed it.
He's been playing good enough.
I think he's always been a talented enough guy. It's just gosh.
Sony Michel.
Yeah, I think he's been fine.
You ever watch him play in New England?
Yeah, but I also don't think New England was the best team in the world at the time, at least at the position, and injuries. ZC, good morning, Merry Christmas to you too, sir.
It is Boxing Day. Christmas was yesterday. It is a thing of the past, and I can look forward to bitter cold temperatures.
Whatever. I'll keep saying it to annoy you now that you let me know that it annoys you.
All right. Well, happy Boxing Day, Chris.
I was almost done here. I think I got this done. Tyreek Hill cleared COVID protocols, if I didn't already mention that. Mm-hmm. Both Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian tested positive for COVID. ... Don't know what happened to that. AJ Brown was activated. That's all my notes there.
Okay, so since you brought it up, Ian Book is going to start for the Saints. He's the rookie quarterback out of Notre Dame. I saw an article yesterday while I was pretending to listen to my mom and stare at my phone. I'm a great son. That the Saints were trying to bring Drew Brees out of retirement.
Not surprised.
NBA style.
Yeah, not surprised. I mean, the way they're running that thing, they just need somebody to kind of steer the ship at this point. I mean, Taysom probably would have been fine to finish the season and maybe win a couple games. That's not really NFL quarterback play, but whatever. You know,
I mean, they spent a draft pick on Ian Book too, so it's just kind of like, well, you might as well. I mean, what if this dude comes out and balls? You know, like he's probably not going to, but what if he does? You know,
and I think, yeah. Anyway, I think Sean Payton will call the offense to suit the personnel he has, and right now he's been limited at the quarterback position for.
You owe a drink for that.
I wasn't gonna say it. I didn't mean to say it. I
you started
myself.
And you're like, nope.
Yeah. But no, I think it shows in the past, I don't know, 2-3 years maybe, they've been limited at quarterback when Drew Brees really kind of fell off a cliff there, and then just these non-traditional quarterbacks. I even had hope for Jameis this season, but that didn't work out for injury, and he wasn't playing well when he got hurt anyway. What's Notre Dame, says the Ohio native. I think that's a big rivalry. I thought the Michigan was a bigger rivalry.
I think he wrote neuter, not Notre.
Oh, he did write Notre Dame.
Neuter.
I think he's making
neuter.
Fun of him. How dare you? Yeah, no. So that's all the injury updates I've got. I'm just kind of poking my head in on Twitter and Sleeper here to get anything I missed.
I'm not gonna lie, Chris. That kind of chaps my ass that Halo Infinite just got uninstalled like randomly off of my.
What were you using? Steam?
No, Xbox Live, whatever the hell they're calling it, Game Pass.
They don't even let you choose where you put it, do they? When you install it, so it's on your C drive probably.
No, no, because I think where it gets. I think with that, because I put it on the D drive, you know, because I'm smart and it's the big one.
You did choose
I think it automatically just whatever drive the Game Pass is on, that's where everything goes. But I couldn't find the file either, like to because I was trying to link it with Steam so I could use my PS4 controller. Blah blah blah. Oh, we got a question here, Chris. Yep. DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashad Penny, or Myles Gaskin at flex, and it's in a PPR. DJ Moore, I think we already discussed that we're probably going to stay away. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff's probably not going to play, so it's going to be what's his face? Nick Bowles. I think it's Gaskin.
Yeah, because Penny's fine, but like I'm going to go with the more established guy in Gaskins in this season. You know, like
it's just one Gaskin, but you know.
I keep reading it. He put Gaskins.
I know.
I do it all the time too. But no.
Well, it was thinking back to last season when you were constantly like Gaskins, and I'm like,
just one Gaskin, sir. Yeah, I'm gonna go Gaskin. Yeah, for sure.
Is it Gaskin though? Because like last week, I mean,
it's 2 miles and 1 Gaskin. Well, I guess you're never Mile. There's no Mile. Nobody has the first name Mile. Do they? Okay, I stand corrected. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's Gaskin.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but it's Gaskin. That's some tough sled right there. Actually, who are the Seahawks playing again? They're playing
Chicago.
Here's I'm gonna flip my answer to Penny.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a more established role there for him. I think it's a little bit safer floor with Penny.
Here's an asking for a friend. My friend, Miles Morales, because I always like to reuse that one, is, would you pick one? Tony Pollard or Devin Singletary? Tony Pollard versus the football team, Singletary versus the Patriots.
I'm sorry, what?
Pollard versus the football team, or Devin Singletary versus the Patriots?
I'm gonna say you should start Singletary because you're playing me in Dynasty.
So you would rather start Pollard, is what you're saying?
No, I think you should start Singletary.
That's who I've got in my lineup right now.
Excellent. Victory is at hand.
Victory's at hand no matter which one of those guys I play. I could play an extra one of those guys, and maybe that would make up for Kittle scoring 3 GD points. But I digress.
I don't think Kittle was your problem. I don't think it's your roster in general. I think I'm just having a good week. I think that's really all it is.
Dude, you're going to score 150 points. I'm going to score like 40. I can see it already.
It sucks, man. It's a rough week for anyone. Like all these injuries, and then you slap COVID on top of it too.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of COVID in my lineup, I was surprised to see Kelsey is out. There was a kind of misleading sleeper post where I'd already assumed. I thought Kelsey was in. It was about a day or so ago. So anyway, He's out officially. Kelsey, that is.
Which I think is weird that like Kelsey's the one that had like tested positive before Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill must have had like a false positive or something. Because I don't know. I don't know the whole story. I'm not going to pretend to, but Tyreek Hill must have had a false positive because I don't understand how he's playing this week, other than the Chiefs are slipping some extra money to
the COVID folks. Jackson Neely asks, should I bench Gibson and be safe with either Jacobs or Javonte?
I think that it's a real... I don't like Drew Lock playing this week, but they're playing the Broncos. Javonte Williams plays for the Broncos. They're playing the Raiders, who, if memory serves correct, is not very good against the run. And I would go Javonte because it's a safer floor. Gibson hasn't been very good recently.
And Jacobs is versus the Broncos defense. Yeah.
And isn't the Washington football team is playing the Cowboys, who have been very good against the run as of late, correct?
Yes.
So I'm going to go Javonte because it's a safer floor and a much higher ceiling, I think. Because
I'm on your side.
You get a couple of home run play. He can have some home run runs like real quick, Javonte Williams. And all of a sudden you're loving life with him, you know?
Yeah. Gibson was hot right before that, but I agree with you that Gibson has been bad for a couple weeks. I think teams focusing on him. I don't think he's had McKissick. So he was really hot there for a couple weeks with all that extra, with a little bit extra work there. But no, Javonte, I think is the play right now. Yeah.
I think so too. And I just like Josh Jacobs, like he's a safe enough play, but I don't think there's really any upside to him too. Whereas Javonte is a safer play with a 20-point upside, you know? I don't think you're getting 20 points out of Josh Jacobs.
No, I think I ranked him because of a low floor. 2.75 stars.
Yeah, it's not a good matchup for him either. So I think
he did score and had 17 touches and 82 scrimmage yards in their previous meeting. Jacobs,
Who's that
is, but Jacobs did versus the Broncos. But
yeah, that sounds familiar.
They're just so good versus they're just such a good defense. They're so good versus the run. I'm staying with Javonte.
I think we should start a petition for the Denver Broncos that they don't re-sign Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I'll sign that thing. I'll
be the first name on that petition right there. I mean, dude,
Cook out this week too.
They need to get a quarterback first and foremost, and B, they don't need Melvin Gordon back. We as fantasy players don't want Melvin Gordon back. I want Melvin Gordon to go to like the Bills. I think the Bills would love to have a Melvin Gordon style.
I want him to go somewhere useful.
I would want to go somewhere where Melvin Gordon is useful, and I want him to leave Javonte Williams alone so he can be more useful.
As long as you think Gordon has another whole season in his tank.
I think so. I think he's got it.
I think so too, but
I think Buffalo would be a perfect landing spot for him. I think it's perfect. What do you mean?
As long as he takes a huge pay cut. Here's a good one. Speaking of RBs, Dalvin Cook does he still have to be a first round pick next year? Like, you still taking Dalvin Cook in the first round? I mean, this week it's COVID, right? So can't really hold that against the guy. But man, he's been. Uh,
That was always the thing with Dalvin Cook, though, and I'm fine
yeah,
with it. I don't
yeah.
want him in the top half, but yeah, I think he's a later first round pick.
Yep.
ZC says, "Do
Agreed.
you remember Brandon Fields and Chris Morris?" I don't know who those people are.
Brandon Fields. No,
He's
I
a
guess I don't
punter,
remember them. I don't.
and
They're pretty common names, and I assume we're talking
who
football.
was the other
but
one? Chris
I don't
Morris.
recognize as far as NFL players.
And Chris Morris was a South African cricketer.
Oh
What?
yeah. Oh, that's right. The old Mr. Chris Morris there. I don't follow cricket, folks.
I
In
don't.
case you
What
didn't
What
get
are
the
you
joke.
referring to, ZC? What is going on here?
Yeah, right. It's like
A punter and a cricket player?
It's like those are my cousins. I'm just kidding. Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
You got any?
Yeah.
You got any? Do you have a matchup? Yes, the punter. Oh, yeah. Here you go. Brandon Fields is the punter. Okay.
I mean, yeah. There's the Monday one. I dropped. I'm gonna start doing the exact opposite of what you say with my fantasy teams, because it's always the exact opposite is the right thing. You have some great advice in the show, but like spur of the moment, like advice for my team, it's always the exact opposite. Drop Tua for Tyler Huntley. Yeah, that's working out real well.
Forgot about that.
I had to start
matchup though.
I started Carson Wentz, which actually turned out to be okay. But
good. At least you could pick somebody up. Both times, like I felt you could afford to drop Tua with the matchup he was given and the amount of time left in the season. But yeah,
so speaking of Tua, like it's not a very good matchup for him. I don't know why I was so in love with him this week against the Saints. The Saints they haven't allowed more than 200 yards in the past 6 games, passing yards. So it's not a great start for Tua. I mean, Myles Gaskin, okay, but the Saints run D is pretty, like any Dolphins running back is not the greatest this week against the Saints. And yeah, it's just not it's a real snoozer of a Monday night game, to be completely honest with you. I'm kind of avoiding any player that I can. Jalen Waddle was what was it? I started this and I don't remember what it was. He has some sort of injury that might limit him, and I'm just like, are you going to start Devontae Parker in your semifinals? Like, really?
Devontae Parker or DJ Moore?
Devontae Parker, actually.
That's awful.
I like when you have when the your DJ Moore has either Cam Newton and or Sam Darnold, which is a real weird but factual statement of and or. And he's a little dinged up with a hamstring injury too. He might not even finish the game. Devontae Parker all the way. He's been surprisingly okay with Tua. So
no, I don't hate it. I just hate my lineup. That's all. I hate this week. I hate my lineup. I hate fantasy football. I'm just kidding. I don't hate fantasy football, but geez, man.
I'm glad I didn't have to play last week in Dynasty, because I think last week was even worse.
I was fine last week. I mean, granted, my competition had as you are putting it, a rough week. A lot of teams did. I get it. And maybe that's all it is for me this week. It's just there's just no hope. Like all this DJ Moore talk is just making me sad, because I'm like I'm one player away from having been in a situation where I was forced to play him, or Lazard, or Adam Lazard.
That's who you should have started
over Gallup and Thielen.
Well, again, if I would have started Lazard over Thielen, not knowing if Thielen was going to play.
I knew he was going to play. I was pretty confident.
As of yesterday, dude, it was a true questionable.
And Lazard's statistical success is it's so far and few between. His targets are awful. At least Gallup gets
pretty good.
At least Gallup gets 8 or 9 targets usually.
Lazard's been pretty
even
good
with
the weeks.
Even with the other 2 Cowboys receivers there. Yeah, so I went Gallup and Thielen. Thielen likes to score touchdowns, and hey, ceiling. Let's put it that way. All I'm going for is ceiling now. I might as well pick up Josh Gordon while I'm at it, except Tyreek Hill is in, but whatever. Be like, I'm going for the gold, ma. Yeah, he said that this punter, Brandon Fields and Chris Morris, a player who never actually started, apparently, they're going to the restaurant today. Also, hoping I knock off Jake this week. For fifth. Oh, for fifth, right? Losers bracket. Yep, me too. I don't know who I'm playing, but I know I'm in the loser bracket.
I am playing for all the marbles.
Good luck.
Against the boss.
Good luck.
So either he's going to strangle me tomorrow, or I'm going to strangle him. One of the two. Would have helped if I had started Chase Edmonds. Really would have helped.
If you win, you're a dead man?
I might be looking for a new job.
Let's go, Josh! Woo! Hope you have a great week, buddy.
You'll like drive. You'll be like driving through town tomorrow. You won't be, but if you were, you'd be like see me standing there on the street corner and be like, freshly fired. Anything helps.
Yeah, you'll be on the corner dancing on my fantasy grave. You'll be doing you'll be one of those beggars who's doing the entertainment. You're looking for a couple of coins in your little hat there, and you'll be dancing on my grave. Tippity tappity, tippity tappity. And I'll just still be sad. Anyway.
Yeah.
How about a little matchup action? Because I'm going to call it an early one today so I can do some family time and or get something done around the house.
Okay. Real quick, did you watch any of football yesterday, Chris?
A little bit in the beginning. Looked like a heck of a game. Heard somebody say it was a heck of a game. Didn't get around to turning it back on.
Did you watch the Colts game at all?
That's what I was talking about, was the Colts game.
Oh,
no, I did not.
Well, I mean,
basically, no, not really.
Oh, what do you think about Carson Wentz? Like,
they won. I know that. So
answer the freaking question, man.
I think he's fine for a playoff run. I think there's nothing better out there. And they ended up paying up, especially now
they're giving up a first
pick. Yeah, so they paid up and got what perceivably was the best guy out there as far as availability, and it's turning out well for him. And he's not a world beater, but he's thrown a couple of touchdowns here or there. And I think we talked about it a little bit in the show Friday that, I've kind of flip-flopped completely in terms of the MVP usually being a quarterback award, and I think Taylor's really changed things for them. I think with him healthy and that defense, and Wentz being, again, could you have called him the best backup quarterback at the time when they picked him up? Because he wasn't really viewed as I don't know. They ended up being a first-round pick, so I guess he was a starter. And obviously he is now. So I like him. I think he's playing well. And this is coming from a,
future.
Cowboy.
What do you think? What do you think for the future?
Oh, gosh. What's his contract look like?
It's a quarterback contract.
It's manageable for another year or so, at least. I think
it's a quarterback contract, man. Like it is what it is. It's
not $40 million.
It's on par with your Aaron Rodgerses and your.
It's right. And you got the deal from Philly.
It's probably not a top 5 anymore, but because he got it like a year or two ago. But it's a quarterback contract. Like it's not a rookie deal. It's a
right. Assuming
veteran
he has
quarterback
a year left
contract
on the contract.
What?
Yeah, assuming he has a year left on his contract, and then you don't, and obviously the Colts don't have a first-round pick. Yeah, you got to ride him. You got to ride with him.
He's got more than a year left on his contract, dude. He's got a lot of years.
Yeah, but he got it right after he had that Super Bowl season where he got hurt, but he had an MVP caliber like regular season. I don't know. Seems like it's only a couple years left. But
they have a potential out after. They actually have a potential out after 2023, but I don't know. I feel like the Colts really need to give him some weapons. Like they need that should be their number one goal this offseason is get Carson Wentz help, because T.Y. Hilton is obviously not it. Michael Pittman can only do so much. I don't think like he's a pretty good wide receiver. He's tough. I don't think he's the greatest though.
I think he's good for the position he plays. He doesn't have to be the 1A. I think he's a good downfield guy. I think he wins.
I don't think
You
he's
know,
the greatest downfield guy.
he wins
But
with he's not the best separator, but he's going to win a lot of jump balls.
yeah,
I think your
a strong
second guy or first guy, depending how you look at it, needs to be a great yak guy, great run after the catch guy. I think Wentz can excel in some crossing patterns type of looks, and you know he throws fine to the running back. I understand it's not hard to throw fine to the running back, but just yeah, you see what I'm saying? Just fit his skill set a little better. Wentz can go downfield, but he's got Pittman for that. Is all I'm saying. I think he's fine for that role. He's like a Gallup.
I think you're looking at Pittman wrong. He's not a downfield guy. He's not fast enough.
Neither is Gallup, but he's one of the better downfield guys in the league because he goes up and gets it.
I think Gallup's a lot faster than Pittman.
Okay. I think they're of similar ilk in terms of, you know, kind of a great number two, but should be in a role.
How would you feel about Gallup
role
on the Colts with them playing together? Like
with Pittman?
Yeah.
I would be a solid duo. Not of a duo of, you know, the Rams and the Cowboys or etc. But like,
yeah.
Again, complimentary. And
it would be like, would you view them as a poor man's like Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods sort of duo?
Yeah, that's a fine way to put it.
Not and like obviously Cooper Kupp is the man this year, but like going into this year, everyone was just like, well, if they really think it's Robert Woods and everything, and you know, like obviously Cooper Kupp is you know is the king right now at the wide receiver position.
And then injury happened.
But I allude to them because like neither one of them were quote unquote a wide receiver one sort of thing.
Nope, not coming into this season. Correct. Now that's different, but yeah. No, that's the way I feel. Yeah, just I think Pittman's fine. I think you kind of leave him in his role, but a kind of midfield underneath guy with some speed would be great. I mean, you could call it a slot if you want, I guess. I think some, you know, don't take so many downfield shots, crossing patterns, manage the game. Wentz has been good at that, and you've got plenty of time. Hopefully, you got plenty of time with a good defense and obviously offensive line that can give you time and take those downfield shots. But yeah, a complimentary piece to Pittman is the piece I think you're kind of hoping for.
One more reaction too, because I didn't watch all the Packers Browns game. I got a little like, oh boy, Baker kind of thing with the game, and and then the Colts game was starting, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop watching this recording and actually watch the Colts game because I'm a Colts fan. Jonathan Taylor is the freaking man, dude. At one point, the Colts did not have any starters on their offensive line, and he still managed over yards against actually a pretty darn good Cardinals defense. You know.
To be fair, 46 of these yards was off the first play, his first play.
It wasn't his first play, but that's fine.
That's what the announcers said and what I observed.
It wasn't his first play. It wasn't his first carry.
First catch? Yeah, pretty sure it was.
It wasn't.
Okay. But yeah, you know, almost half of it came from one play. It was a huge play. It was a great play, and it was a Jonathan Taylor MVP type play. Don't get me wrong. I'm not counting it.
But he had some other good ones too. That's the thing. Okay. Like after even Eric Fisher went down too. So it's just like, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he had a solid game, over 100 yards. Like, so my point being is that he overcame. It wasn't just the offensive line getting the push for him. It was him
making it happen.
Yeah, that was
he's playing. He's playing amazing. Absolutely is.
Chris, when do the Cowboys play? Are they playing tonight?
Is it a night game?
I don't know. I'm asking you. You're the stupid Cowboys fan.
I think they're on at 3:30. I don't have it in front of me. I usually have the schedule pulled up, but I don't. I was too busy looking up pictures of Brandon Fields.
Ew.
What?
Washington is tonight. Tonight.
Oh, it is a night game. Okay, there it is. Yep.
Yes.
Well, goody.
Goody gumdrops.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just gonna root all my friends on in their playoffs because
Oh
I'm
my
done
God, just
deep down, you know
that
I'm right. You know I'm
that
right.
and that and your
You beat me every single
bitter
time
your
you've played me. Every single time. Every single time.
I like to think that when I play you, it's not that you're bad, it's that you make me step up my game and you make me that much better.
Okay.
That's a
No, there's.
compliment right there.
I know. I'll take it and begrudgingly.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a backhanded one because there's some underlying malice to it, but here's the compliment.
But I mean, even in like all the 3 redraft leagues, I mean, obviously I didn't make playoffs, so that was a foregone conclusion. So, quote unquote, nothing to play for, right? I mean, I've been setting my lineups, etc. But even those kind of salvaged a little bit of dignity coming out around 500 season. About middle of the road, 7 wins or so, I think, in each of them. But the hopes were in the Dynasty League, and to your point, I've managed it well enough to make the playoffs every single season, and it's frustrating watching these players just like, I'm just not gonna show up today, dude. Nope. Oh, what is it? The playoffs for Chris? Okay. I have like this such juvenile picture in my head. I don't know why.
Do you
'cause I
think they
somebody-
have like some sort of Facebook group of like like players that are on
George Kittle,
Chris's Facebook team?
Godwin's like, what is Godwin out with? Oh, it was like an ACL or something. I thought it was Godwin.
Yeah, he's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that
Man.
was like physical injury. I probably shouldn't poke fun at that.
Which is a
light
bummer
of
for
that.
Godwin too, because like he's up for a contract and he might not get
I
like
think he's
bigger.
shown enough. I get what you're saying. We'd be surprised how much
think so?
money this could cost him. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it could be $1 million.
It might cost him a couple million.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to everybody, to us for sure. But I still think he's shown enough. I still think Brady preferred him over Evans. It's just you couldn't deny the usability of both guys. The Evans size. Evans.
They both had to have their role or whatever. Mm-hmm. Where would you like? What? Okay, let me rephrase this. What do you think the chances are that Saquon Barkley actually wants to get signs with the Giants?
He himself is a real life NFL player.
Yes.
I mean,
his rookie contract.
I guess it would come down to what
up.
he thinks about the head coach, Joe Judge, because he just got there. Far be it for me to give a coach a get out of jail free card in a league.
He
where
has
they get
one
fired.
more season left on his rookie contract, and then do you think that? And here's the thing too: do you think the Giants are actually going to maybe use a franchise tag on him too to try and keep him around?
That would be foolish. Why? I don't know. I mean, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but gosh, man, he's a running back.
Here's another option.
And you're not in a winning window. If you're a winning team and you have a chance to make a playoff run, by all means, give them.
This leads to my next question.
Yeah.
You're the Giants. Do you try and trade Saquon and get whatever you can for him because you're not going to win next year? You're not going to win the year after that. Just take what you can, build enough equity in the draft to try and rebuild this dumpster fire of a team. What do you think about that?
I'd do it. I'd absolutely do it. And I think on the other side of the trade, what do you think they're going to do? They're just going to keep him. Let us.
I know, but what do you think they could get for him? Like a third? I bet they could easily get a third for him, if not more.
The health. If it weren't for the health, I'd say a late first. I'd say a team that's in a winning window that has a first to give up. I know the Rams like to give up their first rounders. We made an example.
I don't think the Rams have a first round pick for the next
Colts,
4 years.
The Colts ended up spending a first for Wentz.
They gave up their first a year before for DeForest Buckner too,
which is a quarterback. To be fair,
and that's a defensive line.
I'd say a second.
Albeit
I'd say a
best.
second round pick. I'd say just a mid second. That's what I'll say.
That's not nothing.
No, I'd take it. Heck, dude. What are they called? Compensatory picks are end of 4th round picks. That's what compensatory picks are.
They were third. They were sneaking into the third this year, and that was like, yeah. That was based on
the
like
minimum.
COVID something or another.
I'm sorry. The minimum is a 4th. You can get up to a 2nd for a compensatory. Just depends on how it's the. I don't know the rules. Let me say that first of all. But secondly, they can be very confusing rules. So, but yeah, I think
We're
I
not gonna
said
get
fourth.
into them.
Yeah, exactly. I think I just said fourth because like I feel like Dallas gets a bunch of fourths because they're kind of those middle of the road players they let walk. I don't know. Point being, if your team's good at drafting, a fourth round pick is nothing to shake a stick at. So yeah, a second, faux show.
For Saquon? Yeah. What do you think? Which team would you think would give up a second for Saquon? Like,
I don't think the Rams do. I don't know. I made that reference.
I think the Rams like Cam Akers, and they have Sony Michel, which I think they gave up a second for Sony Michel. Maybe it was a third.
Chiefs.
Maybe.
I'd probably do that if I'm the Chiefs. Again,
I don't know if that's.
I'm picking late.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know if that's really like look at CH. I don't know if the Chiefs need a do it all back. I think the Chiefs need a thumper of a running back that can catch the ball.
I think you can draft a piece and put it with Saquon in the fourth round. A fullback.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying
don't
is
give
Saquon
Saquon CMC 90% Derrick Henry snap share stuff. I'm talking like 65, 70%, 75% on a good day. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't have to, in fantasy terms, it doesn't have to be a running back by committee that we're scared of per se, but in real life NFL terms, he needs help. I really think it's trending towards a lot of backfields, if not every single one of them is going to have two guys. I think you can see Aaron Jones and exactly. I think you've seen Aaron Jones and Dillon coexist. I think, yeah, sure, Zeke's lost a step, but you can see Zeke and Pollard coexist. Yeah, they're capped, but anyway, I just thought it was a pertinent conversation. That's interesting to look at it that way.
I mean, like Tennessee's like the only one where it was like mainly Derrick Henry. Same with
and look what happened.
Yeah, but for years it didn't happen.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I was gonna say like David Montgomery.
Wrong, yeah.
He kind of owns that backfield in Chicago.
The Rams guy.
I don't know. What?
The Rams guy has a good percentage, whoever the Rams guy happens to be at the time.
No, not as of late. Like the last 3 years, it hasn't been that way. It hasn't. Not since Todd Gurley got his.
When Henderson was healthy and starting, he was getting 60, 70% of the snaps. When Henderson went down, Sony in the last 2 games was still getting 60+%, and they're easing Henderson back in. Now, if moving forward, you think they're going to go with a 2 or 3 headed monster? I don't buy it. I think he wants a guy. I think he's willing.
I don't think so because they haven't really done. Maybe it's because they haven't had the guy, but they haven't really been doing that.
I will say, last year or year before, when they had one of the best running attacks in all of the league, it was definitely C.J. Anderson and Gurley at the end of the year. They were using both a lot.
I mean, even
that's 2 years ago.
I purposely didn't mention Jonathan Taylor because he's, he splits time with Nyheim Hines. Hines has a role on that team.
Well, then I think we're off in terms of what we're talking about because I think he absolutely qualifies because he's getting over 60, 70%. I don't think he can hope for more than that.
I was talking, when I say the guy, I'm talking 75% more.
Okay.
Which is actually only 2 guys, David Montgomery and Najee Harris. I'm looking at it right now. The rest of it's all kind of these numbers on this website that I'm looking at too. Also, no, they go by games played because there's one website that I look at that they go by they got 0% of the snaps this week because they didn't play, and I'm like, well, no.
You take that out of the equation then, right?
Yeah, you
don't divide against that. Yeah.
This website.
And they did do it correctly. Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay. There's another one that I do that I use that is just, I mean, Henderson, he's in on 56% of the snaps. Even earlier in the season, 49, 40, 60. Well, that was pre-Cam Akers injury. 61, 44, 54, 57. It's not as many as you think.
Point. That's a good point. I think I was a little off. Not to mention we were also off in terms of you saying the 75% thing, so I could see that.
Yeah, I was talking the vast majority of carries.
So to the overall point, we're both right in terms of the transition had already begun, especially when
it's already here.
Yeah, exactly. especially for me personally, when I saw Dallas, and I had seen it coming. I'm the guy smart enough to snag Pollard as a Zeke manager in Dynasty. I was like, I think that's going to be the guy.
Did you draft him or did you have to trade?
Yeah, I drafted him. No, I drafted him.
Okay.
I drafted him
But
after.
the Cowboys spent like a second or a third on Pollard?
No, other way around. It was like a fifth. I think they drafted Mike Weber from Ohio State in the fourth. Keith drafted Mike Weber and tried to dangle him. How'd you want the Mike Weber? I was like, no.
No thanks.
Neither.
I really thought that Pollard got drafted earlier than that. My bad. Sorry.
Fourth and fifth for Weber and Pollard. Maybe third and fourth. I don't think we drafted Mike Weber.
I'm not going to bother looking it up.
But no, that was kind of a like, even Zeke isn't immune. We'll see what happens when Henry comes back healthy. I believe he will. I don't think he's going to go right back to 90%. And now Pittsburgh is one of those teams that is infamous for using one guy and using the snot out of him.
Well, they found their guy with Najee Harris. They just need to fix that offensive line. Like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Not to sound like an idiot, but their offensive line is offensive. It is awful.
Yep.
Why can't I find this?
And their quarterback. Although he'd be better with a better
fourth round for Pollard. Huh.
Oh, I was wrong. What was Mike Weber? Third? I did say that.
I still thought it was earlier than that, but okay.
Yeah, for sure you were off there. Yeah, but no, I thought Weber was. So maybe that means Weber was in the third.
What's his name?
Mike Weber, Ohio State. I don't know if he's still in the league.
I doubt it.
Football running back. Oh, he was the later pick. My apologies. I was dead wrong. He was a 7th round pick.
Oh. Okay. Well, whatever.
I think out of the gate, once they had a chance to practice a little, and I'm not saying just based off nothing, Weber was ahead on the depth chart. Maybe that was what I was thinking of how I astutely held my ground. It was like, no, I think Pollard will end up taking it. And he eventually did.
Chances of Pete Carroll getting fired this offseason?
I will say 5%. I don't think they have.
Really? You think it's that low?
Yeah, I don't think they have any intention to fire.
Really?
I think I think they're like the Ravens and the Steelers. They want a guy in there. They want a guy in there with,
chances they fire their offensive coordinator. Someone's taking the axe for the season. Someone's getting the axe for it, dude. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
That's a good point. I mean, yeah. Again, I know what I think should happen, but geez, I don't know who their offensive coordinator is. It's not Bevel. Bevel's been gone for a while. Yeah. No. Then in that case, 95%. Yeah. Some heads should roll, but I just don't think it's Carroll. I think Carroll's got not complete autonomy, but anyway. Asking for a friend, Carter or Penny. Michael Carter, says Josh. Morning.
And he says yes, which I then said Rashad Penny. And then Moose pops in and says, morning, fellas, which a good morning to you, Mr. Moose. Boy, I really shouldn't assume genders in this day and age. I'm just going to go with Mr. Yeah, it says it can't hang around, busy day. I kind of have a busy day. I have something I want to do, but there's something I should do. What should I do, Chris? Should I do the thing I want to do or the thing that I should do?
The thing you want to do.
Excellent. I'm going to make hot sauce then.
Ooh, nice.
Yep.
I think I agree on the Penny Carter thing. Carter for the Jets is back, but he's versus whom? I don't remember.
The Jags.
Oh, well. Rashad Penny's got the backfield to himself, though.
Max Hunt says,
tough one.
Thielen or Renfro? Good question.
Ooh, that's actually a little close.
Who are the Vikings playing again? They're playing someone.
Schedule right here.
Good.
Rams.
Oh,
the Vikings are playing the Rams and.
Never mind. I'm going Renfro.
Broncos.
Oh, never mind. I'm going Thielen.
He's also playing the Broncos. Yeah, because both are in a tough matchup. Yeah, I know Thielen this is his first week back, but I think he was close to playing last week, Max. So I'm going to go with the established red zone threat. Pro Bowl player. I understand he's been hurt a little bit, but
Former Pro
Renfro's
Bowl
great.
player.
But Renfro's versus the Broncos, and the Broncos' pass defense is really good. I know the Rams are pretty decent also, but I'm going to go Thielen. Well said. Well said. Tough one, though.
Yeah, that one's... Renfro's been pretty good, which...
I think he put up a dud last week, but Renfro has been very hot. Yep.
Like, where was this earlier in the season? Like Renfro's been on the team the entire year. Like, I don't understand.
They lost.
Oh, that's right. They had a different head coach at the beginning of the season.
That and and he liked Renfro well enough, if I can speak. Didn't they lose their draft pick at some point for the year? The fast guy, Alabama. Can't
Henry
think of his
Ruggs.
name.
But that was the previous years.
But I think Ruggs coming into this year was expected to kind of hopefully take more of the mantle, and then they started.
Is Darren Waller going to play this week?
Well, then there's Waller. Yeah, of course. he's the
no.
guy.
I'm legit asking you a question. Is he going to play this week?
I don't think so. I don't have an update though. Let me look.
The All-Star Gamer asked Lockett, Renfro. Oh boy, pick 3. Ooh. Okay, Lockett, Renfro, Jamar Chase. I'm going to need to write this down. Russell Gage, Michael Carter.
Pick 3, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. All right, so I got to have
definitely
2 wideouts.
Gage,
and then Chase has to be the other one.
And then
definitely
probably
Gage, huh?
and probably Lockett or Renfro on that, I guess, because we're in agreement on Chase and Gage, right?
Well, you said Gage, and I just thought we were going to go 2 wide receivers.
He says pick 3.
Yeah, that's fair, and you don't have to pick a running back. Lockett, Chase, and I guess Gage out of those. I kind of want to go
Gage. Like, other than last week, man, Russell Gage has been balling out, man.
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
And you're playing the Lions.
I said, why do you hate Michael Carter so much? I'm still not trying to figure this out.
Because Tevin Coleman exists, and they apparently want to run them, like both. I'm like, it's not that I don't like Michael Carter, is that I don't like his situation. That's the problem.
He was so good there for a whole minute, though.
Was he, though?
Well, I mean, he was getting 16, 15 carries.
Define good. I don't care about carries. I care about fantasy points.
He scored 14. Well, yeah, I know, but that's not fantasy points. Oh, that would be why. That looks weird.
He does have.
Hold on. Sleeper's doing its weird thing. I can't even see fantasy points on this freaking. Oh, there
he
it is.
He has 2 games over 15 points.
He almost had 30 points in week 8.
Mm-hmm.
16 in week 10, 11.4 in week 7. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm looking at his carries and targets. But who are they playing? Yeah, we already talked about that, Jacksonville. I just didn't know Coleman. I think since he's been back, he hasn't done anything. Coleman's been in the way. I still
certainly didn't do anything
from
last
Carter.
week.
I just wanted to dig a little deeper on Carter there for a second. I get it. It's a low
So
floor.
what was your answer? You're like, what was our final answer here? I know what my final answer is. What's your final answer?
My final answer is Chase, Lockett, and Gage, I guess. It was between Gage and Carter.
What do you mean, guess?
Because I wanted to look at Carter, and I just did.
I mean, Gage hasn't been the greatest, I guess, but
yeah, it's close between those two. But yeah, that's my answer. Also, go with the 3 wideouts. He did say P. No, that was the last question. He said PPR. Anyway, I'm still going the 3 wide receivers. I think.
I can't believe that you think Pete Carroll has a 5% chance of getting fired.
He's messed up before and not got
I think
fired.
It's a 40% chance.
I think it depends on what happens with Russell Wilson, because remember, Russell wanted out.
I think Pete Carroll's one of the reasons.
If Russell wants out and wants Pete Carroll gone, Pete Carroll is gone. I just don't necessarily believe that that's the case. Otherwise,
Shane Waldron is their offensive coordinator. I don't know who the hell that is. I've never heard of him in my life.
Me either.
Pressures on new Seahawks offensive coordinator Shane Waldron to keep everyone happy. The most scrutinized person in the entire Seattle organization is playing blah blah. I don't know who this guy is. I've actually never ever heard of him. It's his first year in Seattle, and I don't think it's working out. I think Russell's injury doesn't help his chances of keeping his job, but
I think the defensive side of the ball is maybe the biggest issue of the entire team, not the head coach, not the offensive coordinator. I think it's the
I
defense.
agree,
Whoever's been in charge of putting the
if your
defense
defense is
together.
that bad, why is your offense not putting up
Exactly.
crap tons of points?
Exactly. As the waterfall trickles down, as the accountability trickles down the chain, it's like, to me, if you have such a bad defense, your offensive coordinator and your play calling needs to be adjusted. So, meaning let Russ cook. Maybe you win some games. Maybe you get a playoff run based off your offense and winning. Getting.
Dude, look at the
playoffs.
Colts, like with Peyton Manning for all those years. Like the Colts defense was atrocious, and Peyton Manning was just putting up points. Like,
but that defense was made to play from ahead too. Like they saved pennies here and there. They did. I get it. But they had Freeney coming off the edge. Just pin your ears back kind of pass rusher. Couldn't stop the run. Didn't play the run well on his way to playing pass.
It wasn't a job.
Yes, exactly. It was a roll. The defense was tailored. It was a cover two forever. And now that's kind of not as hot in the NFL anymore. But what I'm saying is it
went by the wayside with Tony Dungy, I think.
Yeah, exactly. But it tailored to the strength of their team. And if for Seattle, the weakness of your team is going to be your defense, you have to make your offense play better because you've got two great wideouts.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I think he should be fired, but I just don't see it happening.
I think if the fans, I think if there's enough outcry from the fans too, they'll be like, yeah, maybe we should get rid of him.
I think if he loses Russell Wilson, I think he's out. Which, same thing. Fans will be like, dude, you can't lose the quarterback. I mean, yeah.
What was his name?
But anyway.
Pete Carroll.
What's his name again? Pete Carroll. Chewing the gum. They were bad last year too, I think. No, I feel like they almost made the playoffs. Just under 10 wins, like 8 wins or 9 wins maybe last year. Anyway, I think we should skedaddle. You just froze. No, you didn't. Yeah, you did. I think we lost him, folks. As soon as I said the word skedaddle, he pieced out. He's like, and on that note, let me see if I can get him pulled up back up here. In the meantime, you don't have to look at his paused face. Yep, it's buffering. So there's that. He must have stepped on a cable. I'm just going to leave the call open. Okay, anyway. It's probably as good a time as any to call it a show. I'm sure Josh would have rather stuck around and said goodbye. This is a perfect opportunity for me to pull up something on Discord that I meant to earlier. Yes, I think so, sir. Hold on. Yes, I got your audio. Oh, you're coming in on video. Yeah, probably.
And so
wouldn't surprise me. And he's back, folks. Just in time to say goodbye.
I'm back. I'm back to leave.
I'm back to leave again. Anyway, what do we have? 2 more weeks of shows, Josh?
1?
Because we won't go through week 18. I agree. We probably shouldn't. Yeah.
Nah.
So
we'll do like a recap show on after.
Yeah,
that.
I was just gonna
maybe a couple of recap shows.
There you go. So a little housekeeping for our listeners, viewers, and fans. We will be, same format next week. We'll be doing a matchup show and a stream. As far as I know, I don't have anything getting in the way there. And then as Josh just kind of touched on, week 18, we'll probably do some kind of wrap-up stuff. I don't know. I don't have a concrete plan as far as show format, but obviously we're kind of, that's the end. We'll be signing off after that.
The beginning of the end of this season.
Exactly. So we'll put a nice bow on the season in week 18. And then...
What color will our bow be?
It would be red and blue. Amazing Fantasy.
Good call. I was thinking like a purple, but
I was making the notes for. I was making not the notes, the title and description of the show, of the stream today, and I like used amazing like multiple times, and I was like, this is kind of becoming a thing. It's like, it's kind of annoying, but it's also
amazing
like,
how much I'm using.
I know,
amazing.
But it's like it's and I remember it's probably several months ago, but you complimented me on making a couple of nice show titles, and I'm like, oh, it's just the first thing comes to mind, and sometimes just the easiest thing works, and putting the amazing tag on thing kind of works for us. It's the show. It's amazing. So anyway, so we'll put a bow on the season after next week. We still got one more week, folks. We got the championship week 17 of the NFL season, and then after that we'll put a bow on it, and by that time we'll have a better idea of what we're going to leave you with in the off season. Obviously, we're going to take a nice long break, enjoy the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl and whatnot. But I'm sure we'll get the itch to put out some fantasy content. It'll give us a chance in the off season to kind of do some, experiment with some show titles and some formats that we don't get to do in the middle of the season because of the matchups. And then look forward to next season and maybe get a shorter show format for the big show. Is what we were talking about. When
someone says experiment, do you immediately think of drugs?
No, I kind of have like a picture of a lab coat guy, understanding that you also could wear lab paraphernalia to make drugs. But no, I'm thinking of like Beaker from the Muppets or whatever. Was it the Muppets?
Yep.
Yeah, that's experimenting.
I always say, like, when you say experiment, I'm like, drugs.
No, not like in college or whatever folks say.
I did a lot of drugs when I was younger. I'm sorry.
I'm experiencing with this drug, caffeine, right now.
Is it a drug? Is it?
Technically, yes.
Interesting. Oh, real quick. We can leave. I don't need to tell anyone about this.
Okay. Until then, folks, have an amazing Sunday. Have an amazing holiday season. Can't wait to see you again. Like, share, subscribe. Happy holidays.
Merry Boxing Day, everyone.